Hey there, this is Wendy with loveandstampin.com. So excited you're here with me today. We are going to do some colorful die cutting, and full disclosure, I started making these cards and then turned on the video camera. So this is not my normal organized video where I show you all the supplies right up front, and yeah, it's not a thought out video. It's more like I was making them and I thought, I bet other people would like to see how I'm doing this. And I just turned the video camera on and captured what I could. So as you can see here, I spent a good hour and a half die cutting all of these pieces. I die cut Flirty Flamingo and Poppy Parade for the flowers I'm working on right now. And I cut Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape, and Daffodil Delight and Mango Melody, and Pear Pizzazz and Old Olive for my leaves. So the first part of this video is simply me assembling some of these different pieces so that you can see how they go together. This is the Peaceful Poppies bundle, or it might be Peaceful Moments bundle. It's at the beginning of the video. There's a supply list. So what I really wanted to show you was, without really any stamping or coloring of any kind, I could just use my solid cardstocks to make really beautiful flowers. If you don't have a bunch of different solid cardstock colors, the other option is to take white cardstock and ink it with different colors and then die cut it. So that is always an option as well, and you could get some really cool variations in colors. And if that's something you'd be interested in seeing me do, drop me a comment below and let me know if it's something that you think you would be interested in seeing, because I would probably be more than happy to do that. All right, so we are just assembling all these different pieces. I put the clear block on top just to really get everything adhered well. And I also want to mention I used early espresso cardstock for the centers of all of the flowers. So I know there's a lot of black. People have used black in the center, but I decided to use early espresso to soften the look just a little bit. It's still nice and dark, but it's not quite as stark as the black. So as you can see here, these are all just layering together beautifully, and using the different colors of cardstock just gives them that interest and definition that they need. So I kind of like the lighter color of the poppy to be the base, and then the darker color to be the outline. But really you could do it either way. And I did do a little bit of experimenting with the Gorgeous Grape and Highland Heather. If you look there, you can see I do have a Gorgeous Grape that is the base, and then the Highland Heather as the outline. And I did use it, but it wasn't my favorite. So just something to think about. The other thing to think about is I had my die cut machine out, and I had all these cardstocks out. And so I sat and I just die cut a bunch of stuff all at one time. Now I will tell you, this is not something normally that I have time to do. So I really took advantage of the opportunity and just sat and enjoyed myself while I watched a TV show on Netflix, and die cut. And then I knew I would have a bunch of extra stuff left over so I could make lots of cards. So rather than approaching this with one card in mind, I kind of approached it like, let me do a bunch of colors that were going to go really nicely together. Reds, yellows, and purples, or reds, oranges, and purples always look really good together. So that's a go-to color combo for anything I create that's summery or springy, or that I want to have a happy feel and look for. Okay, so while I'm doing this, I'm thinking, what should we chat about? Well, I have something. I have a little story for you. A little story time. I ship a lot of stuff. I mail so much stuff. And my average cost for postage per year is around $10,000. I know. Did you just spit your coffee out? Seriously, like I spend a ton of money in postage yearly. That is because I do my business online. So in order for me to mail kits or mail prizes or products or any of that, it costs me money. So I have come up with, or I shouldn't say I've come up with it, a friend of mine imparted her wisdom on me and said, you really need to start using stamps.com. Okay, so in the last month, if you get products from me or items in the mail, you're going to start noticing that the labels look a little different, and that's because I'm using this program. So they charge you $15.99 a month, but your postage ends up being cheaper. So for somebody like me who has a volume the size that I do, it makes sense for me to pay a monthly fee, and then in the long run, I actually end up saving more than I spend, because basically, if you do the math, if you ship more than a certain amount of products per month, then it makes up for it. So, long story short, we are on a learning curve with this postage situation because they give you a scale, and then I had to buy a special label maker. And so I have been, we're basically running our own post office here in the Levin Stampin' Studio. So my sister and I have been on a learning curve with it, and it's been very comical at times trying to figure out, okay, now is this one, okay, it doesn't fit through the 1/4 inch slot, so it's not machinable, so it's this, so it's that. Okay, now weigh it. Okay, it's over an ounce, so we have to do this category. So it's been interesting. Bottom line is, I have done postage long enough that I pretty much have it down. I feel like I could be a postal employee very easily. Jumping back to the card, this card base is 8.5 by 5.5, and it is Sahara sand, and I'm using Poppy Parade for my layering. This piece is cut at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and then the Whisper White layer is 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so anyway, back to my story. I feel like I could pretty much be a postal employee. Of course, there's things that I would have to learn, but as far as shipping and stuff, I'm pretty good. So I go to the post office because we still have this kind of in-between weird thing where if something is just going to cost a stamp or a surcharge stamp, I don't want to print a label for that. I still just want to use stamps because it's not going to save me any money because the cost of the labels. So to me, I'm like, if it's just a stamp, I'm just going to use a stamp. So I go to the post office and I know in my head, okay, these packages, they're actually my thank yous for my February customers. So if you purchased from me in February, you're going to receive your gift from me soon. So they were not too thick to go through the 1/4 inch slot, but they were not bendable. And they were over an ounce. So that means they would be 55-cent stamp, plus another 15 cents for being non-machinable, plus another 15 cents for being over an ounce. So 85 cents total to mail my thank yous with the gift for people who ordered 40 or more. Okay? So I get to the post office, and there's a guy there that I don't know, which is unusual because usually, I mean, it's pretty standard. It's the same folks that usually work there all the time. But he's filling in or whatever. So I say to him, and this is where things get ugly, okay? I say to him, I'm pretty sure that these are going to require 2 extra 15-cent stamps. Can you double check it for me? So he picks it up. He looks at it, doesn't weigh it. And he says, no, it'll just be 15 cents. Or he says, yes, it'll be a 15-cent stamp. I said, I know it will be a 15-cent stamp. I'm saying, I think it's 2 15-cent stamps. No, it's just non-machinable, so it's going to be 15 cents. So I say, yes, but it's over an ounce. that covers it. It's just an extra 15 cents. And at this point, he's getting a little snotty with me. And he's like, and there's people behind me. And so I get irritated and I'm like, fine. Okay, fine. So I know in my head that I should be paying 85 cents per package, and he has me paying 70. Now, most people would be like, woohoo, I got away with something. Well, maybe most people wouldn't, but I'm saying a lot of people would be like, this is awesome. I'm paying less than I know I should pay. I'm going to leave it alone. The problem is, if I've got a persnickety postal worker on the other end of wherever this package is going, they are going to charge my customer 15 cents to get the package out of the impound. So I don't want my customers paying an extra 15 cents to pick up a gift I'm sending them. So I'm really irritated at this point, but I feel like there's nothing I can do. There's 2 or 3 people in line behind me. This guy is just arguing with me. He's not listening to me. And so I'm like, fine. So I put the 70 cents on and I give them to him. I leave and I call my friend Tracy. So backstory on my friend Tracy, she's a postal worker, and she used to work at the post office that I go to all of the time. However, she moved to a different location. She still lives where I live, but she just went to a different post office because it was going to be better for her. She was going to get more hours. So she goes to her different post office, and so I never see her. But we are really good friends, so we see each other on a personal basis occasionally, but I don't see her work-wise, okay? So I call her, and I'm like, hey, I have to run something by you, and I want you to tell me if I'm wrong. So I explain the whole thing to her. It's not machinable, it's over an ounce, blah, blah, blah. And she says, you're right. It's 85 cents. And I'm like, I knew it. Oh, I was so heated because there's nothing more irritating to me than somebody treating you like you're stupid. It flies all over me, especially when it's something. There's not many things in this world that I feel really strongly about that I know well. Okay? That's just the truth. I'm not a highly educated person. I'm sure you can tell that from some of my blog posts, the writing. I do my best. But I don't have a degree. I'm not some highly educated person, but there are certain things I know about. I know my business. And when it comes to stamp, ink, paper, and postage, I know what the heck I'm doing, okay? So, and then on top of it, I'm sorry, girls, you can just relate to me. Because it's a guy, it makes it that much worse. Because I feel like he's being super condescending, like, stupid woman doesn't know what you know what I mean? So, I was lit. So, my friend Tracy says to me, you gotta go back. You gotta go back, you gotta have him pull those out, and you need to add the postage. Because if you don't, they're gonna charge it on the other end. So now I'm really annoyed. But I'm trying to have grace for the situation because, you just have to. Otherwise, your whole life would be spent in an uproar. So I'm like, okay, I'll go back in a little while. I couldn't go back right then because I had stuff going on, and I did not want to go back in there with a nasty attitude. I wanted to go back in with a kind attitude because we all make mistakes. I didn't need to hold the man to the flame over it, but I was hot. So I was like, let me give myself a little bit to calm down. So Tracy then calls me like an hour and a half later and says, hey, just so you know, I went in there. So she, on her lunch break, God bless her soul, she went in and talked to him about it and told him, and this isn't even the office she works in, and told him, hey, you need to pull all of those out for her so that when she comes back, they're just ready and she can just add the postage. And so he did. So I went back and he was extremely humble and very apologetic. Aren't these cards pretty? They're beautiful. I just love them. If you want to see the other ones that I created, go visit my blog at loveandstampin.com. There's a link below the video, and you can go over there and check those out. So there's my postage story, and somebody treating me like I don't know my business. Didn't like it. I hope to catch you guys again soon. Talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye.